हेलो गाइस, वेलकम इन पाल कॉमर्स विद साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में माई सेल्फ महिपाल बघेल एज ए विंस कोचर एंड मेंटर. I am provide coaching and mentoring service to younger students about their career development and programs. Today we will start subject of MCOM IGNOU of Marketing Management, paper code 06. There will be no time waste and ready to start. मार्केट मैनेजमेंट लेक्चर 2 स्टार्ट करते हैं. इसमें हमें क्या पढ़ना है वह वन बाय वन. हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, ऑब्जेक्टिव इंट्रोडक्शन, व्हाट इज़ द मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट. सब्जेक्ट है हमारा मार्केटिंग मैनेजमेंट, जो ये हमारा यूनिट सेकंड है यानी लेक्चर 2 है मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट. इसमें हमें क्या पढ़ना है, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है, इसमें व्हाट इज़ द मार्केट एनवायरनमेंट. मार्केट एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट, मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट होता क्या है, relevance of environment in marketing, marketing environment in India. इंडिया में मार्केट एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन अफेक्टिंग मार्केटिंग. जो गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन है वो मार्केटिंग को कैसे अफेक्ट करता है, मार्केटिंग इम्प्लीकेशन ऑफ सम रेगुलेशन. ये हमारा लेक्चर यानी कि ये लेक्चर 1 का पार्ट सेकेंड है. चलिए दे नो टाइम वेस्ट, रेडी टू स्टार्ट. मार्केटिंग मैनेजमेंट ये फर्स्ट ईयर का सब्जेक्ट है, इग्नू एमकॉम. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. चलिए ऑब्जेक्टिव में क्या पढ़ना है. चलिए इंट्रोडक्शन ऑब्जेक्टिव. व्हाट इज़ द मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट. व्हाट इज़ द मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट. मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट होती क्या है, व्हाट इज़ द मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट. मार्केटिंग activity are influenced by several factors inside or outside in various firms. These factors or forces influencing marketing decision making the or collectively or called marketing environment. इन सबको हम कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, उसको हम मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट कहते हैं. It comprise all those forces which have an impact of market and marketing efforts enterprise. According to Philip Kotler, marketing environment refers to external factor forces that affect company ability to develop and maintain successful transaction relationship with its target. तो सिंपली जो मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट होता क्या है, मार्केटिंग एक्टिविटी आर इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द सेवरल फैक्टर इनसाइड एंड आउटसाइड द बिजनेस फर्म्स. These factors forces influencing marketing decision making are collectively called marketing environment. It comprises of those forces which have an impact on market and marketing efforts of enterprise. According to Philip Kotler, marketing environment refers to external factors and forces that affect company ability to develop and maintain successful transaction relationship with its target. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. The external marketing environment may be broadly divided into parts. जो मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट को दो भागों में बांटा गया है. फर्स्ट हमारा क्या होता है, हमारा मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट. सेकंड होता है हमारा माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट और मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट. माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट रेफर्स टू द कंपनी इमीडिएट एनवायरनमेंट. दैट इज दोज एनवायरनमेंट फैक्टर्स दैट इज इन इट्स प्रॉक्सिमिटी. दे इंक्लूड द कंपनी own's capability to produce the serve consumer need, the dealers and distributors, the competitors and customers. There are also group of people with affect company proposed directly. मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट refers to those factors which are external force in the company activity and do not concern immediate environment. Macro environment are uncontrollable factors which indirectly affect the concerns operate in market effectively. मार्केटिंग एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है, हमारा माइक्रो और मैक्रो. माइक्रो एंड मैक्रो. मार्केट एनवायरनमेंट को दो भागों में बांटा गया है, माइक्रो एंड मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट. तो जो माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट है वो क्या होता है, ये हमारा माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट होता है. इसमें इंटरमीडिएट आते हैं, सप्लायर आते हैं, कस्टमर्स आते हैं, कॉम्पिटिटर्स आते हैं। जो हमारा माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट है उसमें क्या क्या आता है? माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट में इंटरमीडिएट, सप्लायर्स, कस्टमर्स और कॉम्पिटिटर्स। और सेकेंडली हमारा जो मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट है इसमें क्या आता है? उसमें हमारा पेस्टल एनालाइज, PESTLE, या P फॉर पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिकल, S फॉर इकोनॉमिकल और S फॉर सोशल कल्चर, T फॉर टेक्नोलॉजिकल, L फॉर लीगल और E फॉर इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट। फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एनवायरनमेंट, पॉलिटिकल, लीगल एनवायरनमेंट और इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट, सोशल कल्चर एनवायरनमेंट और डेमोग्राफी एनवायरनमेंट। ये हमारा क्या है? मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट यानी एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट। माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट होता क्या है? माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट फैक्टर्स विच इन्फ्लुएंस द मार्केटिंग डिसीजंस ऑफ कंपनी, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट, सप्लायर्स, मार्केटिंग इंटरमीडिएट्स, कॉम्पिटिटर्स, कंज्यूमर्स। ये हमारा माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट है। इसमें क्या होते हैं? हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट होता है, सप्लायर्स होते हैं, मार्केटिंग इंटरमीडिएट्स होते हैं, कॉम्पिटिटर्स होते हैं, कंज्यूमर्स होते हैं। तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट। ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फाइनेंशियल, प्रोडक्शन, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स कैपेबिलिटी इन्फ्लुएंस marketing decision to large extent. For instance, while deciding about the sales target, it is necessary to see whether the exciting production facilities are enough to produce additional quantities or not. If the existing facility are not enough and expansion to plant machinery is required, it is necessary to think about financial capability. चलिए आगे बढ़ते। चलिए सेकेंडली होता है हमारा माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट सप्लायर। फर्स्ट क्या होता है? हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होती हैं। सेकंड क्या होता है? हमारा सप्लायर्स क्या होते हैं? सप्लायर्स कौन होते हैं? फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विस यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू वैरायटी ऑफ इनपुट। द इंडिविजुअल और फर्म्स हु सप्लाई सच इनपुट्स आर कॉल्ड सप्लायर्स। सक्सेस ऑफ मार्केटिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्मूथ एंड कंटिन्यूस सप्लाई ऑफ इनपुट्स इज रिक्वायर्ड quantity on reasonable terms, hence suppliers assume importance. The timely supplies of specified quality and quantity makes the producer to keep the delivery schedule and the quality of final product. The dependence on the supplier is naturally more than number of supplies more. During the periods of shortage, some suppliers may not be supplying material on favorable terms. Each suppliers may be negotiated in own terms and conditions depending upon the competitive position of the firm. Some suppliers, for example, expect the payment in advance and goods are supplied on the basis of awaiting the list, where others may be readily supplied on credit on base. Supplier बहुत important component होता है हमारे इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट का। सप्लायर कौन होते हैं? सप्लायर वो होते हैं जो हमारे वैरायटी इनपुट होते हैं वो उसकी सप्लाई करते हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट को फुलफ़िल करते हैं। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। इंटरमीडिएटरीज कौन होते हैं? इंटरमीडिएटरीज नॉर्मली इट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर द प्रोड्यूसर्स टू सेल देयर गुड्स एंड सर्विस डायरेक्टली टू द कस्टमर। जैसे कि जो इट नॉर्मली इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर ऑल द प्रोड्यूसर्स टू सेल देयर गुड्स और सर्विसेज डायरेक्टली टू कस्टमर्स। Producers use the service of a number of intermediaries to move their product to the consumers, the dealers and distributors. In other words, marketing intermediaries may or may not be willing to extend their cooperations. These persons normally prefer well-established and brands. Newcomers may find it extremely difficult to find willing dealers to stock of his goods. From the newcomers, they may demand the favorable terms by way of discount, credit, and the producer may find it difficult to satisfy them. There are also other intermediaries like a transport organizations, warehousing agency who assist in physical distribution. Their cost of service, accessibility, safe and fast delivery often influence on marketing activity. कॉम्पिटिटर्स कॉम्पिटिटर्स कौन होते हैं? इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट में कॉम्पिटिटर्स पोज कॉम्पिटिशन competitor strategy also affect the marketing decisions. Apart from the competition on the price factor, there are other forms and competitions like production differentiation. There are also competitors who use the brand name, dealer network, or close substitute products as the focal point. Their advertising may present several real or false attributes of their products. If one advertising that this product has imported technology, the other may say that he is already exporting the product. The competitor strategy sometimes may change an opportunity in the environment in the challenging. Customers क्या होते हैं? इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट. देयर आर मैनी टाइप्स ऑफ कस्टमर्स. ए फर्म में सेलिंग द डायरेक्टली टू द अल्टीमेट यूजर्स और रिसर्चर, resellers, industries, and government, international buyers. It may be selling to anyone. All of these customers. Each type of customer market is certain unique characteristics, and the marketer should be fully acquainted with the art of persuading and selling to these consumers. The environment presented by customers' profile will have a direct influence on these marketing activities. The population also contains the potential consumers the company products. It may not be easier to identify the personnel who are likely to become customers of the company. The goodwill built up by companies sometimes influence consumers to become the consumers of company. Companies generally try to build good public relations of create a favorable attitude among the people of group of people. Government and consumer action group are special category with whom negative attitude is avoided. Thus the public also constitute element of government environment. मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट factors extend to influence an organization marketing system. Physical environment, technological environment, political legal environment, economic environment, demographic environment, social cultural environment. ये क्या होता है? हमारा मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट होता है फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट. इसको हम डिस्कस करते हैं. फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? द अर्थ नेचुरल रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्स, फॉरेस्ट, products from agriculture, finite non-renewable resource, oil, coal, mineral, weather condition, landscape, water resource, and components of the environment, which with quite often change level type of resource available marketer of its production. For example, India does not have enough petroleum resources and imports petrol and other products recently. Gulf War drastically affected the supply and petrol, diesel in this country. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. सेकेंडली होता है हमारा टेक्नोलॉजिकल एनवायरनमेंट. टेक्नोलॉजिकल एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? टेक्नोलॉजिकल एनवायरनमेंट. The technological is shaping the destiny of the people. The evolution in the computers, electronics, and communication generally may one's production out-tuned with current products or services. For example, new printing technology like laser printing and desktop publishing has already made labor-intensive typeset printing uneconomical. थर्ड होता है हमारा पॉलिटिकल एंड लीगल एनवायरनमेंट. पॉलिटिकल एंड लीगल एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? पॉलिटिकल चेंज ब्रिंग इन न्यू पॉलिसी एंड लॉ रिलेवेंट टू इंडस्ट्री. गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन कंटिन्यूज विद डिफरेंट इंटेंसाइड एंड द लॉ एंड रूल्स फ्रेम्स. There under the became the complex many area business of brought under the law and other The marketers cannot escape from the influence of the law, the tax law, for example. Sales tax, excise duty, income tax have direct bearing on the cost and price of products, services marketed. So also the policy relating to imports and exports, since these factors affect all the units, they do not affect a single marketer alone. These are the considered forces on macro environment. उसके बाद हमारा इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? अंडर द इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट मार्केटिंग मैनेजर जनरली स्टडी द फॉलोइंग फैक्टर्स एंड ट्रेंड्स. The trends in gross national products and real income growth, the pattern of income distribution, variations in geographical income distribution, it trends, expenditure pattern and trends. The expenditure pattern trends of consumer saving and how consumption like hold their saving either in the form of bank account, investment in bonds and security, purchase of real estate, insurance policy and other assets. The borrowing pattern trends and government and legal restriction and the major economic variable, cost of living, interest rate, repayment terms, disposing income. These factors determine the purchasing power along with the saving and credit availability. The study knowledge of economic forces is essential for preparing effective marketing plans. No firm immune to economic force, although some less vulnerable than others. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. demographic environment. Demographic environment marketers are keenly interested in the demographic characteristics such as size of population in geographical distribution, density, mobility trends and distribution, birth block, death rate, religions, composition. The change lifestyle, habits and taste and population have potential for marketers to exposure. For example, when both husband and wife go for jobs, demand for gadgets that make housekeeping easier and semi-cooking food products increase. लास्ट हमारा है सोशल कल्चर एनवायरनमेंट. सोशल कल्चर एनवायरनमेंट क्या होता है? देयर आर कोर कल्चर वैल्यूज विच आर फाउंड स्टेबल एंड डीप रूटेड एंड हैंस द चेंज वेरी लिटिल. देयर आर आल्सो सेकेंडरी कल्चर values which are susceptible to the fast changes. Some of them like hairstyle, clothing, dress, food, even education. The culture in the entire population may not be adopt the change. There are different degree with the people adopt them. Religion is also important component of culture which has implication of marketer. For example, Hindu worship cow and do not eat beef, so the products made out the beef meat do not have demand. Thus the culture of society influence the consumption pattern of certain extent. Culture also prevents another human activity by determining their values and beliefs. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. relevance of environment in marketing. relevance of environment in marketing. तो marketing environment of company comprise of variety of force. Most of these force external of the company may not be controllable by the marketing executive of the company. So the marketing system of company has to operate within the framework of these over-changing environment force. This uncertain marketing environment offers both opportunity and shocks and threats. Therefore, it is not necessary of company to scan the changing environment, continuously change the marketing mix strategy in accordance with the trends and developments in marketing environment. Company respond these environment factors. forces it by policy, depending on its own capability, particularly the finance, force and facility. Among all the environment factors, some of them may be controllable by organization of some extent, other may not be uncontrollable. Macro environment, the factors are totally uncontrollable by the firm, whereas micro environment factor may be controllable some extent. For instance, organizations the following benefits environment scanning have been suggested to various authority. It creates increased general awareness of environment change of part of management. It guides with the greater effectiveness in matter relating to government. It helps the marketing analysis. It suggests the improvements in diversification and resource allocation. It helps firms to identify capability upon opportunity rather than losing out the competitors. It provides various objective qualitative information about the environment that are subsequently valuable for designing. It provide for continuous board-based educational access to general and the strategic in particular. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. The marketing environment in India. India is a vast country populated around the 100 करोड़ people. तो अभी लगभग 140 करोड़ है. पहले 100 था जब बुक छपी होगी. 140 करोड़ people. It is unique features, diversity of religions, language, social customs, religions, characteristics, which is both a boon and bane for the marketer. Boon because there is trimmed down scope for a wide variety of products and services to successful market it, and bane is because the marketer often needs to adapt the marketing strategy to suit different tastes and values. There are marketers who may find that the Indian environment is full of profit potential. It means that there are voids for anything one may produce and there is a in for everything. There are others who take the somewhat pessimistic view, considering the poverty and shortage of requisite inputs. However, one can confidently say the market is vast. Quality consciousness among the consumers is increasing and there is a demand for new and improved products and services. The trends may continue for a long time. Government regulation affecting marketing. A number of law affecting business have become operational over the years. The important one affecting marketing are listed below. तो गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन कौन से गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन अफेक्टिंग मार्केटिंग को अफेक्ट करते हैं. द इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट 1871, द सेल ऑफ गुड्स एक्ट 1930, द इंडस्ट्री डेवलपमेंट एंड रेगुलेशन एक्ट 1951, द प्रिवेंशन ऑफ फूड अल्ट्रेशन एक्ट 1954, द ड्रग्स एंड मैजिक रेमेडी ऑब्जेक्टिव एडवर्टाइजिंग एक्ट 1954, द एसेंशियल ऑफ कॉमोडिटी एक्ट 1955, द कंपनीज एक्ट 1956, द ट्रेडमार्क एक्ट 1999, द मोनोपोली एंड रेस्ट्रिक्टिव ट्रेड प्रैक्टिस एक्ट 1969, द पेटेंट एक्ट 1970, द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ वेट ऑफ मीजर एक्ट 1976, द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986, द एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986, द ब्यूरो ऑफ इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड एक्ट 1986, द एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस ग्रेडिंग एंड मार्केटिंग एक्ट 1937। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। The Indian Contract Act 1872, the regulator of economic and commercial relations of citizens. The scope of this act extends all the such decisions which are involve the formation and execution of contracts. The essentials of valid contract are specified, examined in detail. Indian Contract Act 1872 regulates of economic commercial relations citizens. The scope of this act extends of all such decisions which involve formation, execution of contract. Essential of valid contract are specified, examined in detail. A contract is an agreement enforceable at a law between two or more persons, by which rights are acquired by one or more to act in forbearance of part of other. The Act also specifies provisions of the creation of agency and the rights and duties, a principle of an agent. Sale of Goods Act 1930. The governance of transaction of sale and purchase. A contract of sale of goods is defined a contract whereby properly in goods of transferred or agreed to transferred by the seller to buyer for a price. The Act also lays down rules about the passing property in goods, rights and duties of buyer and seller, rules regarding the delivery of goods as well as right of an unpaid seller. The Industry Development and Regulation Act 1951. It is through this act that the industrial system operates. In effect, the empower and government to license, to permit new investment, expansion of license units, production of new article, change of location by the licensed units, and also investing the fare of licensed units in certain case, and to take over the management thereof. It conditional warrant. The objective behind these powers are course development and regulation of important industry involving fairly large investment which have an all Indian importance. It is the actual implementation of these objectives that the relevant aspects of industry policy are expected to be fulfilled. Industrial licensing is a form of direct state intervention in the market to overrule its force. The underlying assumption there is that the government is the best judgment about the priority from the national point of view, and also that it can do the allocation in a better and socially optimal way. It must, however, understood that there are economic costs involved in the measure of control and benefits that are expected to accrue, the at least equal to more than cost involved. The Prevention of Food Adulteration of Act 1954. The prohibits the publication or issue of advertisement trending to cause harm to the ignorant consumer by consuming certain food article. It also ensures pure in the article of food. The Drugs and Magic Remedy Objection Advertisement Act 1954. This act prohibits the publication or issue of advertisement tending to cause the ignorant consumer to resort self-medication with the harmful drugs and appliances. Advertisement for certain drugs for preventing disease and disorder like the prevention of conception, sexual impotency also prohibited. The also prohibits advertisement making false claim and drugs. Essential Committee Act 1955. This act provides for the control of production, supply and distribution in certain community, declares essential under the section 2 subsection A of the act the public interest under section 3A of this act. Government can fix the price of such commodity. Companies Act 1956. It is a piece of the legislation has the far-reaching effect of various regulation of organizations functioning of company with more than 650 sections. It is the one of the longest legal enactment. It means the regulate the growing use of the company system, instrument of business and finance, possibility abuse of inherent in that system. Trademark Act 1999. It is with the trade merchandise mark addressed under this act. A mark include a device, brand, heading, label, ticket, name, signature, word, letter, numerical shape of goods, packaging or combination of colors, any combination thereof. A trademark is distinctly symbols, title of design that readily identify the company or its product. The owner of trademark has the right to its exclusive, and the act provides legal protection against the infringement of this right. A trademark is registered for the maximum period of 10 years. यानी कि एक ट्रेडमार्क जो रजिस्टर्ड किया जाता है मैक्सिमम पीरियड 10 ईयर्स के लिए इज रिन्यूएबल फॉर सिमिलर नंबर ऑफ ईच टाइम ऑफ पीरियड ऑफ 10 ईयर्स. इसको रिन्यू किया जाता है 10 साल के लिए. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. However, no such trademark should be used is likely to deceptive or consulting or scandalous options which hurt the religious sentiments of the people of India. Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practice Act 1969. This act provides this style control monopolies or prohibition of monopolistic, restrictive, unfair trade practice and matter of connecting therewith incidental thereto. It may be interest for you know the first country to pass such legislation was the title United States has a free enterprise system. There such act passed as the Fall Act 1819 and called Ceremon Interstate Act, but far as kingdom concerned was only 1948 Monopolies Restrictive Practice Inquiry and Control Act was passed 1956. 1964 two more acts were added, Restrictive Trade Practice Act and Resale Price respectively. Our act is modeled on tile line above three acts. The Patent Act 1970. Patent Act 1970 provision of this act are attracted especially where the company intends to produce the patent products. A patent is title exclusive right to own, use of, dispose of an invention for a specified period. The patent is granted by central government, the first inventor or legal representative. The Standard of Weight and Measures Act 1976. This act specifies the quantity in which the products can be packed. The products covered include the bread, butter, cheese, biscuits, kettles, and pulses, cigarettes, cleaning and sanitary fluids, cleaning powder, concerned milk, tea, coffee, cooking oils, cosmetics, honey, ice cream, jams, sauce, milk powder, soap, spice, toothpaste, etc. Consumer Protection Act 1986. Consumer Protection Act 1986 amended by the Consumer Protection Amendment Act 2002. It is the latest additional list of legislation regulations Marketing decision in India. The Act is in the additional do not in the derogation of the provision of any other law which influence marketing decision. The Act is intended to provide better protection of the interest of consumers and for that purpose make provisions for establishment of central consumer councils, state and consumer councils, district consumer councils and other authority for settlement of consumers dispute and for matter connected therewith. The Act The Act has sharper teeth. One of the weaknesses of earlier legislation was the confusion regarding the burden of proof. They never made it sufficiently clear whether the onus of proof rests with the manufacturer consumer. This act established landmark in the sense that for the first time on onus has been shifted to manufacturer and the seller. The beside no count fee payable also aggrieved consumer can himself argue in this case. Moreover, decisions dispensed within the given time frame 3 months where no testing is required and 5 months where testing of goods complaint is so required. The Act provides the consumer has a right to be protected against the marketing of goods which hazard to life and property, to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of goods, thereby protecting the consumer against unfair trade practice, to be assured whether possible access to variety of goods and competitive price, to be heard of assure the consumer interest will be receive considerable appropriate form. Environment Protection Act 1986 it provides for protection and improvements of environment, the prevention of hazard of human being, other living creatures, plant and property. The environment includes the water, air, land and internal relationship exists between them, the human being, living the creature, plant, living creature, plant, any solid, liquid substance present which may tend to injuries environment of environmental populant, the presence thereof is population. The present enactment cover not only all matter relating to prevention and control, abatement, environment pollution is also power of function of central government is offence that regard penalty for committing offence. BIS 1986 Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1986 provides the establishment of Bureau for harmonious development of the activity of standardizations, making the and quality certification of goods and the matters connected therewith incidental. It has been that Bureau of Indian Standard will be body corporate and there will be executive committee to carry on its day-to-day activity. Staff, assets and liability of the Indian Standard Institution will be performed function of Indian Standard Institution. It has also been stipulated that the access to provide for to Bureau standard and certification marks to suppliers to likely products originating general agreement to trade code of countries. Agriculture Produce Grading and Marketing Act Agmark Act 1937. This act provides the grading and standardization of agriculture commodity. The main commodity graded are the vegetable oil, ghee, cream, butter, eggs, wheat flour, rice, cotton, gun, honey, ground spice. The graded goods are stamped with the seal of Directorate of Agriculture, Marketing and Inspection, Ministry of Rural Area and Employment, Agmark. The seal is an insurance of quality and purity to the voids of agricultural products. In the case of egg mark goods and found to be poor quality and defective, the consumer can complain to the agriculture marketing advisor to Directorate for Marketing and Inspection defective goods and replace free of cost or money refunded. With amendment of 1986, there is now the provision of penalty for misgrading and countering grade design mark, imprisonment up to 6 months and fine not exceeding 5,000. Consumer organizations have to authorize to draw sample for testing. The government agency to enforce the laws, and government established number of regulatory agencies like the Bureau of Industrial Cost and Price, the Agriculture Price Commission and MRTP Commission. The Bureau of Industrial Cost and Price was established by the government in 1971, conduct inquiry about the industrial product and recommended price. The Agriculture Price of Commission was set in January 1965, advised the government on pricing policy for agriculture commodity. Government has also framed rules like Prevention of Food Adulteration Rule 1955, the Standard of Height and Measure Package Commodity Rule 1977 to enforce the provision of related acts. The enforcement of these acts is responsibility of central and state government. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Marketing implication of some regulations. Marketing implication of some regulation. The objective of Marketing Act as amended Act 1991 to curb monopolistic, restrict and fair trade practice. These have relevance from point of view decision making in respect of 4 P's of marketing mix. मार्केट पे से 4 पीस होते हैं: प्राइस, प्लेस, प्रमोशन, मार्केटिंग. द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट बिकम अफेक्टिव द इन्फोर्सेबल इट वाइडली डिफिकल्ट मार्केटिंग इग्नोर इंटरेस्टिंग कंज्यूमर डिसीजन अबाउट डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ मार्केटिंग मिक्स. इंडस्ट्रीज एंड डेवलपमेंट रेगुलेशन एक्ट इज द वन ऑफ द मेजर इकोनॉमिक लॉ ऑफ द कंट्री विच हैज़ बीन डिजाइन टू रेगुलेट इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटी. चलिए लेक्चर सेकंड ये हमारा कंप्लीट हो चुका है. यदि वीडियो पसंद आया तो लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए. जय हिंद, जय भारत. फिर मिलेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय दोस्तों. जय हिंद, जय भारत, वंदे मातरम. भारत माता की